Listen, people are looking at your content. Maybe they're actually visiting your website, they're checking out your landing pages, maybe they even like what they see. But here's the big problem: you don't see them actually raising their hand and saying, "Hey, I want to work with you," or "I'd love to work with you. Can I get some help?" You're not receiving any DMs, no replies, no opt ins, no emails, no bookings. So, in this video, I'm going to show you the missing bridge between getting noticed and getting into an actual real conversation with a person that's actually interested in potentially working with you. And if you stick around until the end of this video, I'm going to give you a super simple worksheet that's going to turn a basic idea into an AI prompt that you can use to create an asset to get a prospect's hand to go up and raise. By the way, if we haven't met yet, my name is Emmanuel. I am the founder and kind of chief talking head of this cool little part of the internet. I also run a consulting agency that is specifically designed to help service providers grow and scale their business using systems. And after having provided thousands upon thousands upon thousands of leads for clinicians, for fractional CFOs and accountants, for real estate agents, for attorneys, for pretty much any type of service business, there is a common pattern. Most founders tend to think that attention leads to conversion, which is actually incorrect. Attention is not the exact same thing as action. So some real talk here. You see, most business owners, they're really obsessed with, getting noticed. They want more views, they want more followers, they want more traffic on the website, more website visitors. And, at the end of the day, that stuff matters, but not as much as you actually think. Because at the end of the day, being seen doesn't mean that someone is ready to talk to you and is ready to engage with you and your business. And this is by far where a lot of people mess this part up. They tend to think that because someone visits their website or watches a YouTube video or maybe likes an Instagram post, that some magic is going to automatically happen. But in reality, it just doesn't work like that. That's just not how you play this game. Because at the end of the day, people do not take action because they saw you on the internet. They actually take action because you gave them a reason to raise their hand. And in our world, raising the hand is no more than defined as getting someone to engage with you online, whether it be them liking a post, sending you a DM or a comment, or maybe shooting you a follow. Maybe it's opting into your booking page or filling out a form on your website. Those are all signs of someone raising their hand and saying, "Hey, I'm in trouble. I need some help. And I think you can actually help me." But here's the thing. A lot of times founders actually get the signals mixed up. They get them a little confused. The example I always like to use, it's kind of like dating. So follow me on this for a minute. So let's imagine for a second you're at a bar, and across the bar, you see your heartthrob celebrity just glowing with a bunch of aura. We can name that person a Margot Robbie or a Megan Fox or a Ryan Gosling. Like, for example's sake, and to keep it interesting, let's say that Ryan Gosling is glistening and glowing, perfect lighting across the bar. You see his ridiculous jawline, and he makes eye contact with you, and then he smiles. Now, here's the thing: most business owners treat marketing like that smile is the done deal, but it actually isn't. The smile is not a conversation, the smile is not a date, the smile is not a relationship. The smile is just a small, simple, nuanced signal. It means, okay, maybe there's something here. But at the end of the day, someone needs to make that next move. Oh, and that someone, it's you. That's exactly how marketing works. A view is that eye contact, and like a smile. A comment is a reply or an opt-in, a DM, or in other words, that eye contact and the smile might come in the form of a like, a comment, a reply, a DM. Those are hand raises. And once we see the hand go up, we now have the ability to go over to that glistening and glowing Ryan Gosling and start a conversation. And that, my friend, is the missing bridge. The fact that we get the signal and we expect magic to automatically happen, but we have to be the one that takes the next step to make the magic happen. You know what? Let me break it down for you a little bit more visually, help land the plane on this. So the basic idea is real simple. We need to have a path to getting this person to convert. Someone that smiled at us from across the bar, or maybe, in other words, raised their hand. So there's a pattern to this, and there's a pathway to this. And it always starts off with getting seen. So here's our really bad picture of an eyeball. But the basic idea is that we need people to look at us. We need to get noticed. And what does getting noticed typically look like? Well, it typically looks like, someone maybe visiting your website or your social media profile, or maybe your YouTube, or maybe seeing your ad. Basic idea, we need to get in front of their face. We need to get in front of their eyeballs. But from there, we need to get down to the next step, which is where we get the smile, aka our little bit of feedback that, maybe we said something that they liked or they saw something that they liked. But at the end of the day, we just need to know that they like something. And how do we know that they like something? Well, it's real easy. They're going to do some sort of action. Maybe it's a like, maybe it's a comment, maybe it's a follow. You kind of get the idea. But that's a sign of them liking a form of post, or in other words, them potentially raising their hand. From there, we move them down our cool little funnel or a cool little pathway to the next step where we start to have a conversation. And the point of that is simple. We just want to engage. What's happening here? Well, it's usually an email reply or maybe a DM. But at the end of the day, there is a back and forth that's starting to be initiated. And once that back and forth is initiated, then the next step is to hopefully start the conversation. My really bad picture of two people talking, but you kind of get the idea because if you can start the conversation, at the end of the day, we have a clear next step. Around here, we actually call this conversation sell by chat. By the way, quick side note, if you're kind of curious on what that conversation script looks like and you want me to create a video on it, in the comment section, drop the word sell by chat. I'm more than happy to create it for you. Anyway, this is essentially where we get into that qualification of, is this person someone that we can actually help? And then if we did a good job, then we can effectively move them into that sales call where we can, hopefully at the end of the day, close. All right, if you're getting some value from this video so far, really appreciate it if you can hit that like button, subscribe button, bell icon, all that good stuff. Really helps out the channel, and thank you so much in advance. Now, as promised, I did say that I want to give you a cool little worksheet that you can use to try to get more smiles, more hand raises. And that's actually on the next page here. If you want a copy of this worksheet, it's going to be down in the description below. Completely free. Just go ahead and download it, fill out the worksheet along with this video if you'd like, and then pop it into your favorite LLM, ChatGPT, Claude, whatever you prefer to use, but it's going to give you a really, really great resource. So let me explain to you real quick how to complete this cool little worksheet. It's a two-parter. Basic idea is that we want to fill out this first part to ideate the exact thing that we need to create to hopefully get the smile or get the hand raise or to get noticed. Another word that we like to use for this specific little tool is a lead magnet. We want to create a lead magnet because if we can solve an immediate problem or pain point for our specific customer or client base, then guess what? It immediately puts us in a position to have that conversation. All right, so let's go through this box one by one. I'll give you a couple examples, or I'll give you an example of how to fill it out. Let's say, well, first off, let's start off with who the avatar is. And let's say, for example, that we're specifically going to be targeting a home service owner. All right. And let's say, for example, that I am an accountant, a CPA, a CFO, and my job is real simple. I just want to acquire more of this avatar, more home service providers. Now, next box is the pain. What problem do they need fixed or want fixed? Well, they all want one very simple thing. They want more money. So what's causing that more money? Maybe it's leakage. So that moves us to the next section. Based off of some anecdotal evidence or information or experience that we have, what is a quick win that we can provide that can result in them getting a quick win within the first 72 hours of maybe reading this cool little lead magnet guide? Well, maybe we can give an outline of where to find the leaks in their P&L or in their balance sheet. What is this going to come in the form of? How are we going to deliver this information? Is it going to be a YouTube video? Well, in this case, if we're talking about a lead magnet, maybe we just make it a checklist. But more importantly, at the end of the day, we need them to really kind of respond back, engage with us, raise their hand, wave it up in the air, and flare it up in the air. Let us know that we provided them with value and they actually want more information. So how do we get them to notify us that this was valuable and they want to take the next step? Well, it's easy. Let's make them take an action. Maybe the action is, if we're going to post this on Facebook or Instagram, have them comment profit. Something nice, simple, and easy, and it's a sign to us that this person's actually interested in potentially working with us in the future. So, having said that, all you simply need to do is take that information that you just filled out, plug it into this cool little prompt, and it'll output a really, really nice document for you. If you're using Claude, it could probably just design the lead magnet for you, and then you can just download it and then upload it into whatever platform you want to use, and hopefully start getting some hands to raise or some smiles to look your way. All right, if you found some value in this video and you're kind of interested or kind of curious about how we map out this whole marketing and sales process to create predictable sales, then I highly recommend that you check out this video right here.